Gary, since we saw you Monday, a productive week?
Yeah, as productive as we can make it. I mean, we put in the hours. We felt we needed to almost throw the plans away and start again after Saturday, because it was a poor performance, as we've all admitted, players, management, etc. So we've had to sort of break it down and say where we felt we went wrong, probably leave one or two out and see where we go from there. So we're rebuilding this week, although, as I say, we don't see it as an absolute total disaster, because it was the one game and a half at Crawley, and the Milton Keynes effort was, as we've said, was the sending off, didn't help us at 0-0. So we're not doom and gloom, and once we've reviewed something, we do go back and review our last game, and that took a lot of reviewing, of course. Then we have to think forward at the next game, which is Swindon, and that's now in our thoughts.
So how have you gone about getting back to the performance against Bradford, the performance here that beat Peterborough, those sorts of efforts from your team?
Well, you've only seen us against Bradford, haven't you? So you think we're a great team, don't you? You don't hark that far back, but what we know is, as a management team, that we're good enough to get results at this level. What we also know is we're inconsistent at this moment in time. I think we was pretty similar the last time we was in the first division. Early on we was inconsistent, but we keep trying to improve it. We keep looking at different things that might help, and then if we get a player that we think can come into our system straight away and what we're looking for, then if he becomes available, then we try and get him in.
Has someone become available?
Well, there's a lead for you, isn't it? Yeah, there has. Tony Poulis recommended this lad at Crystal Palace a season or two ago, but we'd already taken Danny Byrne, and it's a lad called Ryan Innes, who's been at Palace since he was a lad. He's had a couple of loans out, but I think Palace brought him back early on one of his loans. And another time, I think it was at Cheltenham, where he dislocated his shoulder, and he tried to get through a couple of other loans and couldn't, so he had to have the operation in the summer, and he's come back strong, and he's certainly a strong looking lad. We've kept an eye on him. He's played 6 or 7 games this year. I sneaked into the Bristol City game against Crystal Palace reserves a few weeks ago. I think sneaking, but I was there, and I could see that he wasn't quite fit. But Keith Millen, who was my assistant at Bristol, said to me that he thinks he's ready now to go out, and it was good timing on our part. So, as he's 6'5" or so he's decent in the air, but he's also had a couple of England forays as well, under 17, under 18, and he certainly looks the part. So hopefully he can help strengthen our squad.
So how long have you got him for?
Well, it's a youth loan, so it can be as long or as short as it needs to be. But obviously the first 28 days is always the important one, and that's the time you give them to show that they can do the business.
So how long has he been here, and with that in mind, could he be pitched straight in?
Well, he had a chat with me last night. I met him at the hotel and took him for an evening meal at a table for 2. I didn't really want to walk up the high street with him, as he's 6'6" and I'm a little bit less than that. But we certainly look like the odd couple. We look like the twins, Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger. But so I, when I did walk with him, I was 6 foot away from him and made out I wasn't with him. But anyway, I spoke to him, and he trained this morning, and we did a little bit of shape with him in, with him out. We're not quite sure what we're going to do just yet. We'll decide tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the rest of the team, it's nothing you haven't ever done before, but have you had to have some difficult conversations with a few individuals?
Yeah, we have to have difficult conversations sometimes, because nobody likes to be told that they haven't played very well, and that they've cost us a goal or two, or cost us yardage, if you like, in a game. So we've got to make sure that we're honest, and we say it properly and honestly. and then if anyone else comes in competition, then that hopefully will make them even more thinking about getting the game right, because competition's always good anyway for some people. Some people can't handle competition, in which case they have to move on pretty quick.
And with that in mind, are you anticipating any outgoings?
Well, we're anticipating outgoings, but that doesn't mean to say that's going to be soon. You know, there's nothing in the pipeline just now, but we're just going to assess the squad, as we always say we do it around about this time, and you know, we'll let the lads know which ones we think will take us further and which ones won't. But at the same time, you still got to have people that can come in and do the job.
And I'm just thinking in terms of your squad size, is there any pressure to get anybody out now, having got someone else in?
Not really, no. The ball don't put me under that sort of pressure. They sort of know that I'll get it all back to even Stevens as soon as I can, but sometimes you have to get in before you get out, and that's the situation. That was the situation with the goalkeeper last month, when we wasn't able to, you know, get a club that needed a goalkeeper at the time. So with two goalkeepers already here, we didn't need Jake to come back for another month, sort of thing. So that's how it works, really. It's you just have to wait and see who's available and who's not, and then whether there's a position for him, what the salary is, you know, because that's very important. So generally, you're going to get younger players with potential, as opposed to the ready-made player that's had 200 games experience.
What do you make of Swindon?
They've done very well. You know, they've got a pattern of play that is working for them. They're very assured in their game. They've got lads that are comfortable on the ball, and they've certainly got a style of play that has helped them and suited them. And you know, we've got to be aware of what their strengths are and whether our strengths can combat that. But we've had to find some strengths this week, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to go into the game and give us as good as we get.
Be up against Andy Williams, who of course you had here for a bit last year and had previously as well, so you know all about him. Yeah,
we know Andy. I don't know if John Beaker's fit, but of course we know John and Beaker as well. But we know them pretty well anyway. You can watch their games, and they've watched our games, and hopefully they watched our game Saturday. But we watched their game Saturday, and you just know. And okay, sometimes the manager might change his tactics, but generally you go with what you feel is your best philosophy and your best tactic throughout the season, if you can, and stand or fall by it. And at the moment, Swindon are playing a good brand of football that's getting them wins.
Yeah, young team, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, they're a young athletic team. Of course, they had the partnership with Tottenham, didn't they, for a little while, and there's a couple of players that they've got from there that have done well. You know, if you get first shout sometimes on some of these players, then it's handy, and those players have done well for him.